There's a strange silence in our modern world, a silence that hides behind smiles, screens, and slogans that say, "You deserve to enjoy life." Everywhere you look, there's pleasure waiting, in a click, a bite, a sip, or a scroll. But behind all that comfort, behind all that convenience, there's a hidden cost, a trap. A trap so subtle that most people never even see it closing around them until it's too late, the trap of pleasure. You see, pleasure isn't the enemy. It was meant to reward survival, to make eating, resting, and connecting feel good. But somewhere along the way, humanity started chasing pleasure for its own sake, not as a reward for effort, but as an escape from effort itself. And that's where everything began to break. Think about it. Our ancestors had to fight for food, walk for miles, hunt, gather, work the fields. Their pleasure was earned. When they sat by the fire at night, that warmth meant something. But now, we get pleasure without earning it. We scroll instead of exploring. We watch instead of doing. We consume instead of creating. And the worst part is, it feels normal. That's how the trap works. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It says, "Relax, you deserve this." And yes, you do deserve peace, but peace and pleasure are not the same. Peace strengthens you. Pleasure, when chased endlessly, weakens you. Let's be honest. The world today is built to keep you comfortable, but not fulfilled. The food is sweeter, the shows are louder, the dopamine hits are faster. Everything is designed to keep you clicking, buying, craving, and we mistake that craving for living. Have you ever noticed how people today are always tired, even though life has never been more convenient? That's not coincidence. That's the exhaustion of overstimulation. Your nervous system isn't meant to handle pleasure on demand, all day, every day. It's like keeping the engine revving without ever moving the car. Sooner or later, it burns out. That's the modern disease. Burnout caused by pleasure. The brain becomes numb. The body loses energy. The heart feels empty. Here's the shocking truth. Too much pleasure makes you miserable. It sounds ridiculous, right? But it's true, because the more you flood your brain with dopamine, the less sensitive it becomes. What used to excite you no longer does. So you look for something stronger, faster, newer. And that's how the trap tightens. Pleasure keeps raising the price. You keep paying it with your attention, your focus, your health, and your time. Let us pause and think about this for a moment. How many hours a day do you truly live? Not scroll, not distract, not react, but live. For most people, it's less than an hour. The rest of the day is borrowed by the trap. But this isn't a story of blame. It's a story of awakening. Because once you see the trap, you can step out of it. Let's dive deeper. Every addiction, every habit, every compulsion has one root: the false promise that pleasure brings happiness. It doesn't. Pleasure is a spark. Happiness is a flame that needs air, meaning, and effort. When you chase pleasure without purpose, you smother the flame. Your brain learns, why work for joy when I can click for it? And that's where you lose your power. Let's talk biology for a second. Every time you get a hit of pleasure, your brain releases dopamine. Dopamine isn't bad. It's the same chemical that helps you chase goals, love deeply, and create. But when it's triggered too often by artificial rewards, junk food, endless scrolling, pornography, or mindless entertainment, your brain rewires. It becomes addicted not to the pleasure itself, but to the anticipation of pleasure. That's why you keep checking your phone even when there's nothing new. It's not the result you crave. It's the expectation. And over time, your natural ability to feel joy fades. The simple things, morning sunlight, fresh air, a real conversation, start to feel dull. You begin to need louder, faster, more extreme stimulation to feel anything. That's not life. That's dependency. But there's a hidden danger that's even darker. The trap of pleasure doesn't just numb your senses, it steals your will. When your brain gets used to instant rewards, discipline feels painful. You start avoiding challenge. You stop finishing projects. You stop chasing purpose. Because purpose is slow and pleasure is fast. And that's how great men fade quietly, not through defeat, but through distraction. They don't fall in battle, they fall on the couch. Now here's a question that might sting. When was the last time you felt truly alive? Not entertained, not excited, but alive? Most people can't remember. Because being alive requires effort, struggle, focus, all things that pleasure tries to erase. It's a silent epidemic. People have comfort, yet no peace. They have entertainment, yet no joy. They have everything, yet feel nothing. So what's the way out? It begins with discomfort. Real growth always starts there. The moment you choose discipline over pleasure, your brain begins to reset. You start to build resistance, and resistance is freedom. Remember this, pleasure is not evil, but uncontrolled pleasure becomes poison. It's like salt in food. A little enhances life, too much destroys it. When you start cutting unnecessary pleasure, you'll feel withdrawal. You'll crave what you're used to. Your mind will throw tantrums. But that's not weakness, that's healing. Your brain is learning how to live without constant stimulation, and something magical happens when that healing begins. Colors look brighter, time feels slower, peace feels real again. Because for the first time in years, your brain isn't overloaded. Think about this. Pleasure always fades. Discipline, on the other hand, compounds. One builds emptiness, the other builds character. Pleasure demands your time. Discipline gives you time back. Let's make it practical. Start with one rule: earn your pleasure. If you want to watch a show, make it a reward for completing something meaningful. If you want dessert, make it after a real meal. If you want to relax, make sure you've built something worth resting from. When pleasure follows effort, it strengthens you. When it replaces effort, it weakens you. And here's where age becomes your advantage. You've lived long enough to see what false pleasure costs: time, energy, focus, relationships. Now you have the wisdom to know that less can truly be more. This next part might sound strange, but it's true. Every time you deny an unnecessary pleasure, you gain power. That power builds silently. It shows in your posture, your voice, your eyes. It becomes calm confidence, not the loud kind, but the kind that makes others listen when you speak. That's the strength of a man who controls his desires. Because if you can't control pleasure, pleasure will control you. And yes, there will be days when you'll want to go back, when comfort will whisper, "Just this once." That's the trap trying to reopen. But now you'll recognize it. You'll see the lie behind the sweetness. And once you see the lie, it loses its power. Here's a little humor to lighten the mood. Pleasure is like that one friend who always says, "Come on, just one drink." You know it never ends at one. It ends with a headache and regret. That's why you must become the gatekeeper of your own mind. Ask yourself before every indulgence, is this building me or breaking me? If it's building you, enjoy it fully. If it's breaking you, walk away. That single question can save years of lost time. Now let's talk about something most people overlook: the spiritual cost of pleasure. When you chase pleasure too much, you forget gratitude. Because pleasure makes you expect life to give you more. Discipline reminds you that what you already have is enough. Gratitude and greed cannot live in the same heart. You must choose one. And here's the reward for choosing wisely: peace. Not the kind you buy, but the kind you feel when you know you're no longer a slave to your own impulses. That peace is the ultimate pleasure. Because it doesn't fade, it grows. So how do you start? Not with big promises. Start with awareness. Notice what pleasures control you. What things you run to when you're bored, sad, or anxious. Then remove one of them for a week. Just one. At first you'll feel the emptiness, that's normal. Then, slowly, the emptiness turns into space, and that space fills with strength. Every time you choose discipline, your brain creates new wiring, new connections, new peace. That's neuroplasticity in action, the brain rebuilding itself through choice. And soon, you'll realize something incredible. The pleasures you once chased start chasing you. You'll find joy in small things again. You'll laugh easily. You'll wake up without regret because you've returned to balance, the natural rhythm of reward after effort. That's what makes you alive again. You see, the trap of pleasure was never about pleasure itself. It was about losing the ability to wait, to earn, to grow. But once you remember that true satisfaction comes after struggle, you escape the trap completely. The world may keep offering quick pleasure, but you'll see through it. You'll look at it and think, I've tasted something deeper, because you have. The taste of discipline, the flavor of peace. That's the secret no one talks about. Real pleasure lives inside discipline. It's the calm pride of knowing you could have given in, but didn't. That's not suppression, that's strength. So the next time you feel the urge to reach for a quick fix, pause. Ask yourself, is this pleasure feeding me or draining me? Because every desire carries a cost, and the question is, are you willing to pay it? This isn't about living a joyless life. It's about choosing higher pleasures, the ones that make you wiser, stronger, freer. Reading instead of scrolling, creating instead of consuming, loving instead of escaping. Pleasure is fleeting. Purpose is forever. And once you choose purpose, every small moment starts to glow again, because your peace no longer depends on what you have, but on who you've become. If this message spoke to you, don't stop here. Watch the next video on my channel. Every desire comes with a cost. There, you'll discover how each craving, no matter how small, carries a hidden price, and how to protect your energy, focus, and spirit before it's too late. Click it now and continue your journey toward mastery, because the war for your mind isn't won in one battle. It's won every time you choose discipline over desire. And that is the kind of pleasure no one talks about, but the world deeply needs to remember.